Welcome back, everyone. Alex Anthony here. We're going to do another Theory of Fortnite video, this time for OG Season 7, and I have a little bit more live commentary this time. So we're still going to pause and do some post-commentary, but we have a little bit more live to listen to as well. So I tried to match the audio levels so that they both sound good, but yeah, let's get right into it. All right, where are we going to land this game? I'm thinking you can't go wrong with Dusty. You really can't. It's close. It's in the middle of the map, so you can rotate to anywhere. And it has a lot of loot, and it has a lot of heals, so I feel like a nice Dusty start is always chill. Trying to land at the lowest point that I can so the glider doesn't come out too quickly. I might land top tree here and just drop myself down via gravity. None of these are fall damage worthy if you just take it like one step at a time. Don't love getting the flint pistol off the break. That's why I go for a second chest before I heal up. Nothing really happened. We had a couple of kills, but they were just both bots, so I didn't include it because I didn't want to waste anyone's time with nonsense like that. Now I see someone flying in, and I do believe this is the first real person. Now I do include my good stuff and my bad stuff. I almost died to them because I want to talk about areas where I can improve as well. I mean, these are situations. I can't believe they almost killed me. These are situations that happen to a lot of us. So the thing that I should have done right there was after we got into shotgun range and we hit a few shots, we got then into more medium range. I should have switched to either my flint pistol or my heavy AR. It was just an arrogant moment where for whatever reason I thought, I got this guy. I think we've probably all been there. And once again, I'm not just going to show you guys the absolute best gameplay because that doesn't really seem very realistic. You guys hopefully realize, and you'll see in some gameplay here, that you're not watching me per se for to be the top tier player. I'm someone who's going to explain really the more subtle details of the game that you may have not thought of before. But yeah, I make mistakes just like everyone, and I want to include things where I think we can kind of just talk about, not necessarily the instances where I play perfectly. So right there, I hit the guy for 90, and I use that as a chance to kind of escape and reposition for the fight. When I'm at such an HP disadvantage, I really want to try and tag him up again. While I realize this is also giving him time to heal up and such, I just didn't want to push him right then and there with just my shotgun, 135 HP, and just getting, either winning barely, then getting third-partied, or losing the fight because I was so low HP. It just seems like a smarter position. A smarter idea to reposition, but I can be convinced for pushing there as well. Are they throwing that at me? Or two people fighting? This was actually crazy right here. Bro, is there someone in a tree? That's exactly what happened. There was a person in that tree that I threw the shockwave on. The guy's body destroyed the tree, and the person in the tree died to fall damage. That was probably the craziest kill that I've ever had in Fortnite, honestly. I didn't even know the guy was in the tree. Bro, that may be the best death I've ever gotten. I killed somebody by launching someone else through the tree. Yeah, I'm still in shock about that one. We see more fighting here. We've got 150 HP. I figure why not. This was not such a good weapon swap. That was a mistake. But hey, like I said, we're gonna include
error, bro.
Some mistakes too.
Top tier mistake.
Yeah, I was very upset with myself for that because
I'm leaving.
Losing a shockwave is
just altogether.
It's pretty bad because now I just don't have that one little burst option.
I'm just trying to go like find some heals or whatever. That was just never the POI was never chill. It was never cleared. Everyone just kept. Oh my god, bro. Alright. That sounds like the shots that were shooting at me before.
At this point, I need to make a decision. I know that there's a gunfight going on over there, and I have 4 grapples. I have a very small little hill to get over. Do I use my grappler to go and push this fight, or do I save my 4 grapples and take the long way? I decided to go option B, save the grapples, go the long way, and this is just a fundamental way that I think about the game. Maybe people disagree. Everyone's free to play the game how they want to play the game, but my personal theory of Fortnite is the game is about the win. It's not about the kills. You guys probably heard me talk about this in the last video if you were watching, but it doesn't matter how many kills you get when you get the victory royale, to me. Now, of course, we're all trying to like get into fights and actually play the game, but the difference when you're this down bad on resources, I feel like the difference between using a grapple when you only have 4 and not, I mean, 25% of your movement, say we start getting shot at again, just like before when we were in the forest eating the mushrooms, what if we need to escape? What if we need to push someone who gets really weak and we need to get their loot? I feel like these grapples can be better served. If we, say, don't third party and get 2 kills, maybe we get 1 kill, maybe we get 0 kills. It's all good. With no loot, we have to play a little bit different. Your character throughout the game, not character, but you know what I mean, your sprite, your person, your model, whatever, I feel like you get more powerful and less powerful as you play the game. You start off with 0 power. You pick up guns, you get more powerful. You have loot, you have inventory, you have movement, utility, things like this, heals. You can do more with more, and you can do more with however you're built for the certain situation. Right now, this situation, I am built for defense and looting. I'm at 174 HP. I have a close range weapon. I have a medium range weapon. I have a mediocre heal that can get me back up to 174 HP if I don't take more than 100 damage. And I have barely any movement. So the barely any movement part right there is just what I don't think is worth using in this exact situation. So that's why I opt to take the long way here.
Okay, HP.
And the Fortnite gods bless us by putting them right in our lap. I hear them grapple up. And then we get the lucky third party.
Is there anything else? Purple pump, though. Just keep the tack. You're better with the tack.
All right, so I included this little clip because I wanted to just talk about, once again, theory of Fortnite. To me, this was a pretty important part of the game, and it's a bit of a harsh reality, I'll call it. I'm just kind of accepting that in this current moment, my current abilities in the game, what they dictate and what they allow me to do. Now, the theory of Fortnite would say, go with the pump. The pump is the higher damage output. You can go pump switch from the pump and the heavy AR, and if you get close to someone, boom, that's your best damage output combo. Now, I'm going to bring the theory of Fortnite down to, let's call it, sub-practicality of Fortnite, reality of Fortnite. I know me as a person, as a human. I'm going to miss that pump shot. I'm going to probably not hit a great pump. I need a little more in close range to feel confident, to feel comfortable. And the tac is not like it's a bad gun. It's just, in my opinion, say the pump is a very high ceiling weapon and a very low floor, where the tac is kind of like it lives more in the middle. It still has a very high output, not quite as high, and it doesn't have anywhere near as low of a low. You know, if we're going to go on a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being an absolute expert weapon and 0 being an absolute noob, super easy to use weapon, I would say the pump lives somewhere in that like, call it like 50 to 90 range. So like the ceiling is really up there. But the tack is more of like in the 60 to 80 range. Like it doesn't get very low, but it can't get quite as high as the pump, if all of that makes sense. Hopefully it does. And I realize that for myself, just having that fully auto 1.5 shots per second is huge. I used the Maven a lot last season. It reminds me of the Maven, so I just kind of feel very comfortable with the tack right now. And I feel like we all need to realize and use what we feel best with. I watch a bunch of streamers. You guys probably watch a bunch of content creators. So we see what other people use. It's like, oh, I want to be like this person. I want to use this. I want to use that. And it's very hard to use what other people use if you don't have the skill set that they have. Slowly develop over time. Take your days, practice in creative, practice in BR, and then eventually we'll all get to where we're trying to go. But I think forcing it and rushing it will just lead us to harder games right now without the growth in the areas that we need to grow in per se. Whereas like my weapon play isn't necessarily where I need to get better right now. I'm trying to master different controls. I'm still trying to master the positioning on this current map. So that's what I'm focusing on right now.
Should actually kept, I don't know how it kept, but.
All right, so I hear a grapple there. I'm not sure how clear it is on the audio, and that's why I start playing all sneaky.
Let's see where this person is. Let's try to locate this person before they find us.
But this actually here is a very classic strategy that I'm going to do. You guys have probably seen it before, probably used it yourself. But what we are going to do is bait them in here with some shots of our own, and then we actually have a pretty nice play. But this whole thing is actually really good for this type of video, because what I'm trying to show you is the good ideas and what to do when they don't go 100% perfectly. Everyone can, it's YouTube. It's very easy to show you when my plays go 100%. Oh, highlight reel, yada yada. But this is more of a dictation of real life. So I shoot in the direction that I want him. That's a really important, I'm going to pause real quick. That's a really important thing right there. I shot it first where I wanted him to think we were. Then I shot in the direction that I wanted him to think that we, quote unquote, we, me and the person that I'm fighting are. So that's going to get him to move to where I am if he thinks that we are further out in that backwards direction. That's why I turned around and shot behind me. And then I see the footsteps again. And then if you look right above the Zoe camera, keep your eyes on that green fence, you'll see a little green bush walks by. And that's when I noticed him up there. So beautiful position on this electric cable to get me up there. I don't quite have the angle though. And in an attempt to get the angle, the plan goes awry. So I'm trying to find that angle. I accidentally drop down, take 25 fall damage, and I realize, listen, the jig is up. I got to drop in on him now, and I've got to just play this. And luckily, we get the drop on them. They had no idea that we knew where they were. And, that is that. Yeah, that's just an example of how I like to play those situations. Bait them in and take them out. Yeah, we opened the door before so that we could grab the driftboard. That's why we took the driftboard off the wall initially and opened that door.
You've gotten, like, top 10 almost every game you played. All right, we got a little shooting over there. Let's just kind of scope it out.
Yeah, I was just reminding myself of that because I hadn't actually won any of these games yet. So that's not a brag. That's a defeat right there. Now this happens sometimes. Check this out right here. I accidentally get stuck in between the driftboard and the wall, and I was kind of floating there. So luckily, I was already pickaxing the wall, but if I did not pickaxe the wall there, that was my only option, was just to pickaxe the wall and get unstuck. Or, grapple out, shockwave out. So I get that kill, and I move on to kill the next person. But I can't find the person that kind of thirsted the other kill.
Who's the other person shooting? Got double grappler. Got an opening tag. Nice. Get the heck out of here.
So my logic here is they got opening shots on me. They're probably going to push. And look at that. They already pushed at least a little bit. But then also, when you have a grappler, real quick, if someone's going to push you, creating separation is the best way to counter a grappler, because if you can get them in open territory, the grappler is not like a shockwave. In my opinion, it's actually very easy to hit people out of a grappler. They are slow moving in the air. They move in a pretty predictable low arc and a straightforward, straight direction. It kind of just pulls you in a straight line. It like zips you. And the shockwaves or other mobility items can sometimes go, say, for example, the grappler, or the not the grapple gun, but the new grappler that we got in a Rift event. That is kind of not quite as good. You kind of swing in an arc, and it can be a little bit harder to hit people. And shockwaves, you kind of blast in an arc, and it can be a little harder to get hit out of them. But this grapple gun, while it is great mobility, it's balanced very nicely because it does have... It's pretty easy to get shot out of. So I was trying to create separation there before they pushed me, instead of, because this way my overshield gets a little bit of chance to refresh, and instead of going into that fight with 145 HP, I can go in with 195. So that's why I didn't just take this initial strategy when I had gotten shot. It's like, oh, I know they're going to push me. No, create separation, then let them push you after your overshield has come back. However, in this instance, I start getting shot at from behind, and...
That'd be expected at this point in the game.
Yeah.
That's why double grappler is nice. Alright, do we want to use it now? I feel like now is the time. If not now, when, you know?
Talking about the chug jug, of course.
Not the worst idea in the world.
Here we find an interesting option. I have 2 grapplers and the 2 shockwaves. We are in endgame. We have 4 people left. 3 opponents. I decide to omit the second grappler in favor of the redeploy here. And the reason why I do that is solely because I have these 2 shockwaves. If I did not have these shockwaves, I would not go for this play here. The reason being, this reminds me a lot of Season 4, Chapter 4, or perhaps? Chapter 3, with redeploy, shockwave redeploy. So it just gives me a meta that I'm kind of comfortable with already.
Purple tack? Yes, please. Well, there's somebody. Really?
I like to jump around when I start getting shot at in an attempt to lure out the person and find where they are. At this exact point, I start to get pretty confident in the game because I feel like a good player would not have let me done that to them right there. I see the third person running in white from right to left there, and I decide it's time to go for a shockwave.
Like running up there, so maybe we can wait for them to start something.
A shockwave deploy play. Yeah, I wait for the gun shots, and then we go. And now here, I get a little bit cautious. I see the person in white drop down. And now I don't want to... I wanted a third party. I don't want to, you know, get in the middle between these two. So I'm just playing a little bit more cautious at this exact moment. I have my shotgun out, and I take a bit of a long-range shotgun shot because I didn't want to get caught with my heavy AR out in a close-range situation and then die to it. We see them coming up. We have high ground, and like we said before, the grappler, you know, you can't shoot through.
G to the G.
You can get shot easily out of the grappler.
Yeah, that was just a really patient end game. We just needed to wait, like, quite a while there. But that was a good game. That was, I think, our first win of Season 7. It took me a lot of attempts, I hate to say, but that was a good game. I think our best decision of that entire game was to leave Dusty Divot when we did.
Yeah, I agree with that. Normally, when you drop at a POI, you kind of want to take it over, and people get pretty fixated on that. But in this exact instance, I just didn't think it was logical. I thought it made more sense to drop out of there, leave, go, and then just, you know, reposition. But good game overall, very long end game. So I tried to include a lot of it because I think that the boring parts, you know, quote unquote, are still very important for end game. And yeah, that's all I got for you today. I just want to give a quick thank you to everyone who has been dropping in and supporting the videos so far. You guys have been absolutely amazing. I can't believe the level of support that we've gotten so far. Like, some videos have gotten some really great views. I know this is a newer channel, so you guys are incredible. I'm going to be doing my best to keep these up. So thank you all so much. Love you all, and we'll see you on the next one.